Alrighty. Hello. Time to learn a little more. Well, before we learn a little more, I'm going to show off one of my 5D chess moves. I like to show you this one. Let's see. Well, first of all, there's me. And look, might be some of the entities who are involved in some of this. Oh, that's the grandfather clock and the monkey. There's the sailboat I've been working on for my dad and a little side project. JB. No. Ghostbusters. Aliens. This could be new Alienware. You never know. Who knows who's there? Well, anyway. So, 5D chess move. Okay. So, I said I did this to in honor of my grandmother because 4 days before my birthday, on my grandmother's birthday, Mitzi, that's her nickname. We what's it call it? I was like grandfathered into like something out there in Seattle. So, but it was on her birthday. So I assumed that I was going to like do something for her since it would happen on her birthday, 4 days before mine. So, this is what so a little story here. Don't mind the dirty bathtub or whatever. This is the house I moved into over there at Mr. David Brotzman's, right? Well, guess what? So, when I moved in this house, we get over there, and like a couple months before this, my grandmother is a little upset because because she has a pink bathtub that's like cast iron, and she wanted to donate it to like a shop that she always worked at and stuff. She always worked at like a thrift shop, so she wanted to give it there. Well, she didn't get the opportunity to because when she had the individuals come over to pick it up, they misunderstood and miscommunicated, and they smashed up her tub, and she got very, very upset about it. So, Grandma, when I moved in this new house, there was a pink tub with jets in there, conveniently, right? And so now, check this out. Now, my other grandmother, my great grandmother, Nammy, right, the one that had did program me with all the Masonic stuff from the book number 4 from Alex Crowley or whatever. This is the dresser that I had in her house growing up, that I used to keep my clothes in. Well, the same make and model. It's not the same one, but pretty interesting. So, 2 grandmothers, 2 placed in a house over there. Oh, and by the way, that house, you could buy it for pennies on the dollar, and I know that houses, you could flip that house for an extra $100,000. Easy. All you need to do is put some countertops in the kitchen. Spend $1,000 on countertops, you just made $100,000. Just saying. That's what you get for backstabbing me, Dave. So anyway, going on. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go into some lessons on how to FullSpectrum. I know I had mentioned it, so here we go. Here's a little report from work too, from my work. If you from a manager that I worked for at UPS, just so you know that whatever the cops say about me is not the truth. This is the real people who see me every day. Okay? So you guys can pause that and read that. But now, you get whoever wanted to read it could pause it. I'm going next. Whoop. Not that one. Where am I going? Right here. Okay. Boom. Here we go. So, this is going back to like everything. So, I decided to develop a platform, right? A platform that synchronizes everything together, and it has a mental alchemy training program in it. So, I started developing this it's on a holographic telepathic platform, but I mean, I'm sure they're going to incorporate this into a game as well. So what it is all it does is takes everything in your outside environment and everything in your inside environment, and it pulls up a mental map of everything that's going on in your life. And it just maps everything. When I say map, I mean it just literally records and registers everything while you're logged into gameplay, while you're logged into think tanks. So basically, you could partition this stuff to when you're working, when you're playing games, when you're trying to learn something, when you're just developing your own mind. And now you could go back and you could like pull this up and you could see, hey, when I saw that movie, I liked how I felt right there at that specific time. And now you could go back to that specific time and see how your mind was set and how it was on a mental standpoint, what your emotional cues were, what parts of your mind were functioning on what levels. It has a whole map of everything, what intensities and everything like that. And not only that, but it has the ability to expand out your thoughts and see them and revisit them in real time. So, well, and another way that we develop these wheels, and yeah, see, so these mental alchemy wheels, they come out like a ball. Pretend like every square is like a new like another setting on your spectrum wheel. Okay, so you could like change your spectrums to what you want, and you could even like you could pull up a movie and it will have all the data points loaded in from a movie, right? And it says, okay, your emotional cue is here on this movie at this point in time due to the focus and the cinematography and the music and everything like this. And you can say, well, I want to change my focus so it's over here, and so I get more of a rise or more of a climax at this part of the movie. And now you could start like, and that's just one example over movies. You could do this with everything in your life because a lot of things are routine, so they're already pre-registered, and it's easy to pre-register routines that are in your life. So now you could start learning and developing things off of routine, and you could better synchronize your life to everything you have in your environment. And now this is again what I was saying about how you could put it over your TVs and everything like that. Um, it's basically just intelligent haptic overlays over your TVs, and now you have like a mental platform that you have a visual of everything that's going on, and you could fine tune it. Well, now when you how do you get to an area where you fine tune it? Okay, so now well you have to be able to build one of these wheels for yourself to get there. So how do you do that? You go like this way. So, all right, how did the Alchemy wheel come about? Back in 2019, after my hike, I decided to write a book on mentalism, right? And I decided to weave all the lessons together so everything was would build off each other. All right, and the book was called The Alien, the Magician, and the Hacker. I already spoke about it. I'll probably end up publishing it because I'm sure you guys will want to fucking read it. But well, anyway, so this is where the idea came about to anchor and begin channeling many topics and genres uh, through through one specific entity. I I called it buttons because like buttons held everything together, and I was just thinking buttons. Who's got the buttons? I was thinking just like basically just channeling a whole bunch of ideas through one key point. Okay, and this is what you call your snowflakes. Okay. So when you channel a whole bunch of ideas through one point, now you're starting to make like switch work or track work. Think about like the old childhood toys Connects. Okay. I grew up playing with Connects. I grew up building things, architecting things from a child. I can remember my mom sitting on the couch looking at me, and I put a electric motor in a spaceship I made, and she looked at me and she goes, you're so smart, you're scary, right? I can remember her saying this when I was a little kid. So, well, anyway, think about the little snowflake pieces, right? Now, you could put all sorts of, basically, the snowflake piece is like, it just has all sorts of channels that come out from one key point or idea, right? So now, you go over here, and so now, what you're doing is you're taking one snowflake and you're channeling it to another snowflake, or basically, you don't have to have a snowflake idea. You can have just a full spectrum idea. Well, you can have 2 key points, okay? So now, like from here, every time you go from here to there, from here to there, see how there's blue, then black, then green, then purple? Well, consider that like different avenues or spectrums. So different emotional states. So you're following the same path every single time, but you're changing it just a little bit. So now, like, say, like, there's a frequency that puts you in that spectrum. Well, now they just take it one click over and they map your next frequency and they map your next frequency, but they keep looping you in the same key points and key points and key points. Now, what happens is, and then you could also do different emotional spectrums why you do that the same thing over and over again. You could do what's it call it? You could intensify it, raise your intensity, lower your intensity, do different depths of thought as you're doing it. And basically you're trying to make a solid ball that goes from one key point to another. Now, the midway key points you can start developing off of. So like these little points right here, down in here, you could start building them this way, okay, down. And when you start building them down, you can start building another ball off of this, a full spectrum ball off of this. And now you have a world over here, a world over here, a world over here, a world over here. You start developing a hive mind. And there are ways where your mind, you could plant ideas in these hives and you could come back and visit them later. And if you built your mind properly, your mind will have ideas built out for you every time you revisit it. It's like your mind will hold intelligence in these spots if you weave enough ideas together and hold it together. And you could have a synthetic amplifiers amplify these locations. So it induces thought without you even being connected to these areas. And this is how you want to develop a hive mind. But yeah. So that is your lesson for today. I'm probably just going to go into my low budget magic show on the next thing. I'll probably put it together today and tomorrow. I didn't have anything on paper yet, but I'm going to put together this low budget magic show using my cell phone on YouTube and prove to y'all how I played 5D chess with the world. And then we will go into the game of Guess Who and Clue, and we'll try to solve it. You guys will have fun with that because then I'll teach you how to full spectrum and Harley Quinn your mind for a better existence. Not to mess it up, but just to promote thought process, and it will turn it into a mentalist game that will always promote your thought process. So that's something that you could look forward to as a gift for watching the magic show, as well as being awed and baffled because it's true. You will see. See you there.